Back in my 20s, I played golf all the time. In my 40s, not so much. I'm playing in a 4-man scramble. I try to hit the ball far, but it's laughable. The only way that I can add value to our team is with this club here, the chipping wedge. Before I try and make that illustration make sense, I have an announcement. Almost 2 years ago now, I sampled this piano along with a bunch of other layers. I called it the Meyer Felt for Contact, and it's going away. If you already have it, you can of course use it forever, and I suggest you might consider picking it up this week on a reduced price because next week it's going away. But without giving away too many details, there might be something better coming along in the near future. I love the piano. I still use it all the time, but perhaps there are a few things that could be improved. That's all I'm going to say. Let's go back outside. Common advice you'll hear on channels like this that are about music business or life in music. If you're not doing the thing that you want to do, say you want to be a composer or producer, then try to at least find your day job in a field that is closely related to music. Live sound, teach guitar lessons, something along those lines. But what about those of you who already have a career outside of music? It's not as simple as starting over with a minimum wage job doing something that hopefully can lead somewhere else. Well, perhaps there are different paths for you to get where you want to go. Let me explain. As an inspiring influencer or content creator here on YouTube, I watch a ton of videos about the creator economy. What used to take dozens of people, maybe hundreds of people to accomplish, we can now make stuff in our homes, whether it's music, YouTube videos, whatever. The barrier to entry is much lower. The cost to get the equipment we need, much lower. I can go into my studio, make something, and in a couple hours I can hit the publish button and someone in India is watching it. It's a wild time to be alive. But I think at this point we all realize it requires a lot more to get our music or our videos out into the world. Well, you don't think about all the extra stuff until you get to the point where you make something that you want people to know about, or you start developing a product that you want to share. You realize that you lack the skills necessary to do it, and you don't have time to sit and watch hundreds of hours of YouTube videos and sift through what is good information and what is bad information. I need help, and I know a lot of artists need help. I put a question out to Twitter to see what most people think are the jobs that are non-music related that we have to be good at or at least find help with in order to get whatever we make out into the world. Shh. Next day, that bird really messed with my train of thought. I didn't say exactly what I wanted to say. I enjoy a lot of these tasks that are non-music related. Hopefully I'm getting better at them as I go. But let's talk about a few things that I know I'd probably be better served having somebody else do for me, and I imagine most artists feel the same way. Anything and everything that has to do with money. I imagine if you are an accountant or a financial planner and you love music but you're also really good with numbers and you can see in the long term, I can almost promise that most of the creative musician types not thinking that far down the line and could use some help. I don't know how you hit somebody up and say, hey man, you're probably not all that good with money, so I'm going to help you. You're going to have to figure that out, but I promise you are needed. Lawyers, attorneys, whatever you call the person, I don't know. I know personally, I have my music in a lot of different places, and I'm selling instruments with different companies, and I need to understand these contracts, and it can be difficult. So music lawyers, creative lawyers who understand the very specific lingo to our business, that's valuable. Graphic design. I think most people, like I'm 43, people older than me, not so much into graphic design. People younger than me probably at least have a better understanding of Photoshop or all the other apps that are available to make stuff look interesting. But it still takes a lot of time. I always second guess my graphic design work, and I'm already spending enough time second guessing my music and my videos. If you're a graphic designer and there's an artist out there and you listen to their music and you send them an email with a design and you say, this is what I think your music sounds like, that's a good way to get somebody's attention. Website development, I can't tell you how many hours I have spent in Squarespace trying to move those little boxes around. Now it's gotten so much easier than it used to be. It's a great platform, but I'd rather not be doing it. Personal assistant, scheduling, time management. I have a friend who has hired somebody to do that for him, and he's giving him a percentage of his business just so he can tell him where to be, when to be, and what he needs to work on that day. Video editing, even for those of you who have no desire to make YouTube videos, there's still Reels and TikTok, and we need to be present on those platforms. Well, I hate telling people to do social media. But if you think you must, filming a little bit around your studio, then sending that to somebody who can make that look interesting and make you look interesting is going to keep you top of mind, and that's good. Therapist was commonly mentioned in the tweet. I think we all know why that is necessary. That wasn't very smart. Too old. Earlier, I mentioned the soon-to-be retired Meyer felt piano, and I did most of that. I hired out a few things, but it was a lot of work, and I'm glad I did it. I learned enough, but I realized that when it came to the feathered flute, which I released last year, and these next few instruments that I have coming up, that I needed help, and I would rather give up a portion of the sales, pay people, whatever, to get more done, because I know that my value comes in the ideas that I have for the sounds and the way that I kind of edit the sounds and mix the sounds and manipulate those sounds. But I had my friend Derek Thomas help me with the scripting of the flute, and then with what I've got coming up next in a couple of weeks, Owen Boleg helped me with the scripting.
Hello, my name is Owen.
I relied on Hunter Rogerson to do the GUI, and it's so much better than anything that I could have done on my own. And I was able to spend time working on the things that I'm good at and that could lead to more possibilities down the road. If I would have done those instruments all by myself, it would have taken me 5 times as long and they would have been half as good. Where to next? Whoa. But if this is true for me, I guarantee it's true for thousands and thousands of other producers and composers who are far more successful than me, who are juggling all these tasks that they would love to get rid of. And perhaps you have a skill that can really aim at one of those pain points of someone that you really want to work with. And not that if you offer your accounting services that you're going to get an opportunity to write a score for a movie. I'm not saying that, but if you're able to offer somebody something that really helps them out, then that will build trust, and that could possibly lead to opportunities. And you may find that just doing the thing that you know how to do in a different context really makes you happy. Let me get spiritual for a moment. Please don't click away. It'll just be a second. I think that when God gives somebody an excessive amount of talent in one area, that over here he removes a few important elements to being a human. If these are your areas and you can help this person over here, maybe there's a match. I know that all of these services exist online, but I get tired head trying to find them, and I don't know who to trust by a website. So if you can offer those services, then maybe it's time for you to reach out. I understand that all of these services, expertise, these skills, they come at a cost. One by one, I'm trying to pay people to do them, but for the most part, I've got to do a lot of these skills on my own. So there's tension there. It's a whole nother video to figure out how to make these things actually work for both parties. But what I'm trying to say, there are obvious pain points. And if you can solve those pain points, and there's opportunity for collaboration, build relationship, build trust, and who knows what happens from there. Take care.